Some of the biggest mistakes that I see people make in divorce is airing everything on social media. Social media is so big today. People love posting about what they're doing in their day-to-day life. But when it comes to a marital breakup, one of the mistakes that I see is that you can't really take that down and you don't know who downloaded it or made a screenshot or kept a copy of it. And so in a divorce situation, I always recommend to my clients, before you post something on social media, ask yourself, how are you going to feel if this was blown up into a big billboard that's presented in a courtroom before a judge? Would you want that blown up in a courtroom for everybody to see? And if it's not something that you want everybody to see, then don't post it. Keep it for yourself, maintain it, keep it privately, keep your own journal. Try to keep as little out of social media as possible. The next mistake I see people make when going through a divorce is not gathering as much information as they possibly can. Copies of important documents, important financial documents, records, proof of events if you have claims against your spouse or if issues arose and you just don't have copies, even of screenshots and text communications, financial documents. And I know it's hard to think about all these things ahead of time, but as much as you're able to preserve documents and evidence before you get started with your divorce or just knowing how to gather this information, that's going to be important or possibly could be important in your situation. Another mistake that I see people make in their divorce is I don't think that they mean to, but they wind up using their children as pawns in the divorce. They may start talking with their kids, grilling them after every visit with the other parent. What happened? Where did you go? Where did they take you? What did they say to you? It's really not an opportunity for you to do that. It's frowned upon by the courts, actually, especially if it comes out that this is something that you're doing, communicating or sending messages via your child, even putting notes inside your child's backpack that you're sending with the child to the other parent's home. Not really a great idea to involve or have your children to be the messenger between you and your spouse. All the communications should really be adult to adults and not through your children. And the biggest mistake that I see people make in their divorce is trying to do it on their own. Divorce is very complicated. There are so many different issues that get very technical. And it's kind of like when you're playing a board game. I give the example. Would you go to a place, pick up a board game and just start playing? Or do you read the rules of the game before you start playing? And here's a similar situation. So if this is your first time getting divorced, you're now going to be introduced to a lot of different legal concepts that you may not be familiar with. And why not get yourself educated on what they mean so that when you're making decisions about what you want to do with all your assets, how you want to manage things with co-parenting your children, just to get the information before you actually try to do it yourself. Because once you do it yourself, it's difficult to undo it. The other mistakes that I see people make is that they run off to other companies, or maybe they start using AI to draft their paperwork, and then they submit the paperwork to the court, and then they're waiting 6 months, 9 months, and then the courts bounce the papers and they wind up in a panic. And I see this happen all the time, even when they use professional companies out there that say that they know what they're doing. And unfortunately, a lot of the times they're just mistakes that are made. The courts are going to catch it and they're not going to process your paperwork and require you to fix and repair it in order to process and grant your divorce. You wind up losing and wasting a lot of time, and it may even cost you even more money to get fixed. These are only some of the biggest mistakes that I see people make in their divorce. There are many, many others. In order to avoid those mistakes and try to make yourself go through a more smooth process, it's important to work with a professional who knows what they're doing, knows how to navigate the court system, get the paperwork done just right for you. We at Sabra Law Group, we've been doing this for over 25 years, and we can help you. Give our office a call and schedule your consultation.